So hello everyone. I'm Lucius Seifert and I will be presenting for you today talent and performance management. A few words about me. I come from more soft HR area, but now 4 years or over 4 years with Workday and especially talent and soon also Beacon management. This should work now. Yes. So I'm certified with core talent performance management launch with Beacon Management and HR Professional. You're already familiar with the webinar practicalities as usual. So the safe harbor statement. So before I go through agenda, just a few words about my approach here. There are actually two presentations. So one is the detailed that is kind of touching upon all the major updates, and then it has all the necessary information that you have received kindly from Christina and Mintu. I hope it will be useful for you when you implement the changes, and or if you, for example, create some training materials. The second one that I'm going to use today is a kind of lighter version, so that we can actually focus on the major aspects and of course demonstrate in our test environment as much as possible. What I also really much encourage you is to use the Workday community as always and the What's New report. So what we have today, so major changes with this new release. They revolve around Talent Marketplace, Career Hub, skill enhancements, and they are of course most relevant with those that use or plan to use Skills Cloud. So the first topic, homepage cards. So for those that do not know the functionality, for those that don't know the functionality, it is a part of the people experience. Do I receive some? No. It's kind of it is a central place to reach employees, so you can put their announcements, cards, external links, worklets. Especially the cards are important here. So they link different areas of Workday. So So now regarding talent, so in the autumn, Workday delivered two new talent cards. So we have the Start Performance Review card, so the employees can actually directly start performance reviews from the homepage, and then we have the Manage Interest cards, so you can manage all kinds of skill interest, career preferences, and career interests. What is important to actually remember here, if you want to use it, please check that you have access to the user has access to Start My Performance Review task and of course the Edit Interest Business process. Let's jump then to straight away to demo. So firstly, a couple of words about the configuration. So I'm logged in as a Logmacmill, the HR administrator. What I need to do first is to navigate to Home Cards, Workspace, Task. There I need to add those two new cards. I have already done it in advance, Start Performance Review and Manage Interest. And just don't forget to actually press the Publish button. You can also see how they look when employees actually reach for them. So with the Preview button, same with the manage interests. So I would say that all in all, we get the new talent cards. They need a bit of a configuration, but otherwise, really nothing changes here. Geeks promotion. So also for those that are kind of less familiar with Geeks, they are I would say basically answer from Workday to the need of having very small assignments, project-based work. What is also important that this is a part of those new developments based on the Skills Cloud. So Workday has made like major improvements on the Geeks promotion. Now, as a Geek host, you can create custom promotional messages. You have a bit better visibility into who receives the promotional messages. But the idea is to basically make it more efficient and to be able to target the employees or even pinpoint those that are kind of relevant for the Geek. So let's see how it looks in the system. So again, I'm logged into the slogan, our HR admin. We go to Geeks report. It takes a bit of time because it's a test environment. So here, Logan is a host of a number of different gigs. Of the gig, you can go to manage gig team. And here we can view all the candidates. This, unfortunately, with this test environment takes a bit of time. So what I did instead, I just put the screenshot so that we can move on with that. So in normal environment, you can basically view all the candidates here and use filters to really pinpoint the employees and promote it to. So we have the promoted to, so obviously filter to kind of see the candidates that you have already promoted it to, the match strengths, so that whether they are strong, good, fair, or poor matches to the gig requirements. Then you have the skill filter. Then you can filter employees based on the relevancy of the skills they already possess, and then skill interest. So you can target maybe the employees that would like to improve their own skills. Then we have a possibility to actually create a custom notification. So there's a possibility to write a title and the main message. You can also make it so that it defaults. Also, you can at the end actually pinpoint very particular employees that you want this notification to go to. So again, all in all, you can now kind of better promote the gigs. You can target better the employees, actually very specific groups. You have the custom-made message available, and this is available for automatically for the gig users. So another enhancement on the kind of gig management side is the mark gig complete. So when you complete a gig, basically, you can, as an admin or as a gig host, you can straight away go to endorsements, to feedback, to endorsements also on particular skills. So maybe let's take a look how it looks in the system. So we go back to gigs. So of course, we look at this that is in Recruiter, not a complete one. When I go here of the actions, I mark complete. So here I can recommend a person for another gig. I can write a personal message for this employee, and I can endorse particular skills that an employee possibly learned on the gig. If I press next, I get this confirmation message that if we continue, then of course this information will go to the gig member. What is important that once you complete the gig, you cannot kind of reopen it, so that you will just need to create a new one. At the same time, you have all the kind of information from the gig available to you. So maybe we can take a look now at the completed gig here. So you can of course see with the view gig all the descriptions, all the skills needed, etc. But also all the information about the feedback. So what kind of feedback you gave to whom, and what kind of skills you have endorsed. Let's go back to presentation. So in conclusion, you get a new feedback and endorsements, and basically it is automatically available. I think it's very, very useful and kind of streamline the work of the host, gig host after the gig is completed. The next area is the private talent pool security. What is kind of critical here is the new self-service private talent pool domain. What happened when I was actually configuring it, I had quite many issues with visibility. I checked community, and apparently many customers were complaining about this change, and that they were not able to see things like tagging, like visibility of the private pools in the talent pool, report find workers was not working. So apparently what was a solution for me was actually editing the talent pool restricted view. So if this does not work for you automatically after enabling the self-service, please also take a look at the restricted view domain. Also Workday recommends to use the intersection security group. Employee as self and unconstrained probably manager security group on the domain. This is a quite also interesting change. Worker skill level user interface model. So this is kind of also for our customers that use the Skills Cloud. So it brings a couple of things. So I would say that the more streamlined experience, and also capabilities to kind of to see the rating and to kind of understand more the very concept of the skill level. Let's maybe take a look how it goes in the system. So in order to actually configure it, you need to go to maintain skill level setup. And the first thing you can see is the names, and the new enhancements are the descriptions. Both of them you can override. Just one caveat, there's only 100 characters limitations here. So the other thing, you need to make sure also that the weightings are adding up to 100%. that you use at least one source here for the weightings. So let's cancel this. How it works in practice. Let's go to Logan's profile. To career and skills. So the first thing that kind of comes here is that we don't see anymore the count of sources. We before in the skills you have the count of sources. They removed it. Potentially it was confusing for the users. The other thing, now you have the skills actually sorted alphabetically. Then when you click on the skills, let's see, resource management, you're taken to kind of completely new interface. So I think this is actually very, very well managed. This is kind of broken into a couple of different areas. So we have the top section, so calculated skills, name, description, those that we looked into in the configuration. Then we have the self-rating that we can actually update straight away from here by us ourselves. Then we have the latest change, the skill level breakdown, so the weightings that we were also configuring there, and finally the details. This is kind of an old functionality where you can see and mark where the skills actually come from. All right. So what is the main kind of thing here? I think that this skill level interface is a very positive enhancement, and kind of it makes the kind of the visibility of somebody who is not really familiar with the talent SKU as much. It makes the life much easier. What next? Learning in Career Hub. So so with this release, you kind of you have a possibility to save the learning suggestions into the Career Hub plan. So how it was before. Before, when you kind of wanted to take an action on learning, you were redirected to learning without the ability to basically to get back to Career Hub as easily as possible, as easily as now. So now we will have the link between those two products, the Career Hub and the learning. So maybe let's take a look at this in the system. So what is also important here is the way to configure. So you need to do quite a bit of configuration. Firstly, at Intendant setup, you need to enable learning path. I have already done it. And then you need to change change or add sliders basically to the maintain learner experience. So there are two new sliders that you need to change in the learning home and my learning. I have already done this in advance. So this is grow your career, and in my learning it is learning items in your Career Hub plan. So in practice, let's go to learning. Of here, I can mark or I can add basically my learning to the Career Hub plan. I can automatically also automatically straight away I can jump here to the Career Hub. So then from the Career Hub, I can track my self-learnings, firstly the to-do, then pending, and then eventually completed part. So all in all, so there is now a direct link between Career Hub and learning, and also that kind of there's a need for some configuration in the edit HCM and edit tenant HCM, and in the maintain learner experience, you need to add the sliders. Another functionality, skills on the job profile workbook enhancements. Especially for those that are using job profiles for talent reasons, not only compensation, like unfortunately it's the case in many companies. You get now a bit kind of more capabilities here to use the skills on the workbook. So as you can imagine, of course, the prerequisite again here is the Skills Cloud. So the new enhancement is basically the possibility to much better, much more precisely to edit the skills on the job profile worksheet, and kind of pre-populate the sheet with exactly the skills and for the particular job profiles that you wish for. So let's see how it works in practice. So in order to do it, you need to use the mass action event. And here you have available already edit skills for job profiles. You can use all kinds of reports, but let's use now the one that is here for the suggested skills. Firstly, here you can again target the job profiles that either they are particular job profiles or they are part of the job family or job family group. Let's use HR management. So there are major changes here. So previously, the only thing you could change here was the effective date. Now there are a lot of new optional here elements. So the first thing, the remove explicit job skill profile in here. So if you select this, so any skills, any skill that that is currently on your job profiles will not get pre-populated on the workbook. So if you are planning to do a huge refresh or redo of the skills of the job profiles, this is the way to go. So you can then pre-populate them without the skills that are already there. Pre-populate skills on the job profile. So this basically enables you to pre-populate workbook with any skills that you would like to be required or optional. Then eventually you have the skill suggestion sources. Here you have three possibilities. I'm gonna use just for this demo the text on the job profile. You can use the number of skills that will be populated here. So the suggested skills, for example, I could use 2, and then I press OK. This takes time, so I have already done this before, and that's how it looks like. In practice, you have job profile proposed skills and job profile current also skills. So then you do basically as it was before. You validate the whole workbook. You submit, and this will basically make all the changes, and all the skills that you have now chosen here will be populated on the job profiles that you have initially indicated. So I would say that all in all, that this kind of enhancements gives you like really a good tool to very precisely find the job profiles, and then to pre-populate with the skills, and also indicate which should be required or optional. So I think this will kind of cut a lot of time for any user. We have still 5 minutes, so maybe I will quickly go through those. Purging of check-ins data. So basically now you have a possibility to purge the attachments with topics and the check-ins. I have been trying to test it in the test environment, but unfortunately, what happened is not yet visible. So let's hope this is going to be already visible in your tenant. Basically, with the purge person data task, and then you can just pick one of those. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. This is automatically available. We have also now certifications removed from skill suggestions. So obviously there was some feedback that the certifications were not up to date, and they were not good source for the skills suggestions. So now this is removed. Of course, those that currently have this as a source, they are not affected. Yeah, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. This is available automatically, but of course you need a skills cloud for that. This is an interesting change, especially for the HR professionals. So proficiency is now the native proficiency changed into the fluent. So the idea is that employees, workers would not be kind of, they would not bias against them if they had a certain native language proficiency. Yeah, this is also automatically available for everyone. You don't have to do anything. So a couple of words about the roadmap. I think that the major changes that are coming are again related to skills, talent marketplace, and career hub. So for those that are not a part of the skills cloud kind of community, and it is again a reason to reevaluate kind of your stance towards the skills cloud, because most of the changes that are coming require skills cloud as a kind of basis. So thank you very much for joining, and I will now give space to Christina.
Thank you very much, Lexa, for your presentation. Please keep this slide on for a second more so that our dear participants can give you some feedback. And if you have still any questions to Leszek, then please post them in the chat. We can wait a couple seconds for those. And if there's no more questions, then I would like to thank you,